What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Vic?
What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
How you been, Vic? Hey, what's going on, Vic?
What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Just give me a second. I think I turned you on the live stream for the Facebook and then
Oh, I catch
turned it off. How's your week, man?
you. Good. Again, like I say, consistent. It's the same thing over and over. Make it simple. How was your week, man?
So we weren't as consistent, so full accountability because we were testing a bunch of things. So we switched out our scripts so we sound more guts. We updated our RI reply for workflows. Are you familiar with the workflows?
Actually, I would like a more help from you, if
Okay.
you're better than me on that. Like, can you break down how your workflow is, and maybe I can
Yeah.
pick what I need in mind.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I
Yeah,
know
man.
you spent a lot of time in the beginning for RI reply, and we were we definitely spent a lot of time on it because we send like 700 texts when we're consistent. So to manage that, you need to have your triggers and workflows in place, or it gets completely scattered.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically what we do, so I'm just gonna go out the general flow and then I can do the technical stuff after. So basically we text blast and then our machine basically filters out the no's, the straight up no's, and then all the synonyms for that. No, not interested, nah, um, not looking to, not sell only, for sale, those kind of keywords. Those are
Okay.
automatically filtered out.
How does
And
that, like, okay, and let me stop you again because I'm taking notes as you're
Mhm.
talking. So when you say filter them out, what does that mean?
So it puts them into another pipeline. So I have like 5 pipelines. So the first pipeline where almost everybody goes into is just basically the general pipeline. I call that the pipeline leads. And then if they're saying a no, it moves them into another pipeline. Let's call that pipeline C. And that's basically all the not interested people.
Yeah, because I don't have anything like that set up, man. Like,
yeah, mine's more
have,
complicated. Mine's like a 5-step funnel.
like I don't have anything. Like, I don't have, like, I know that definitely will work because before we continue, like the way that when, like, right now my VA, my cold caller is calling right now, right?
Yeah.
So some of those people call back. So when they call me back, I always take the calls live, right? Because he calls, nobody answers, and then they call back. Those are hot leads because, again, those are hot live calls because they're coming back from a call that we did. So I always pick them up. When I'm driving, I always try to pick them up.
Right.
And again, like, hey, my name is Alex. Did we just call you? Yeah. We just probably wanted to ask you again. My boss sent you a package letter, a package offer. The reason why I say that, Vic, is that there's probably other people in my area that are sending marketing material. So I'm just banking on that marketing material that somebody else is paying for.
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, I've gotten a letter. Oh yeah, well, my boss sent you that letter, and we want to follow up to do 2 things: ask you if you received it, and 2, ask you if you're open to seeing an offer for this property.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if they say no, perfect. If they say yes, I'll give them a quick, a long range, and then I continue. But the no's, the no's, they still come back. They come into my main conversation on my what's it called? So they're all there.
Main pipeline, like, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't, like I said, I don't have a pipeline. It's just on the conversations I have a lot of text backs, and I have to literally filter through them. Oh no,
yeah, that'll drive you crazy, especially when you're downloading the original list and then skip tracing them and then blasting more than 150. You're gonna cry on those days.
That's what I'm telling you. Like when you say pipelines, that interests me because, again, I wish I had a pipeline that all those no's, f-offs, hell no, I wouldn't even see them in my conversation.
Yeah.
I'll just see the ones like, who's this, question marks, tell me, because my text says, hey, this is Alex. I'm pretty sure this is your house. I need you to tell you something.
Yeah.
So they tell me, what do you mean tell me? What do you mean tell me something?
Yeah, we can definitely spend more time on it if we don't finish the general conversation today. So
Okay.
I can definitely hop on the Zoom call afterwards sometimes. Because I definitely want to ask you more questions about pre-foreclosures as well.
Definitely.
So we can definitely do more of that. But let me show you how my pipelines work, and then you can show me how yours looks like, and then we can maybe trade off so I can
Like I say, I
understand.
don't have a pipeline. It's just conversations. Like I don't have a pipeline. I know that the Rari Texas pipelines, like it's, for me, it's too complex to even get into it. Like I need to literally
Yeah,
sit down and
yeah,
like,
you
like
definitely
I
need
tell
to
you, I don't want
spend
to learn
some
it.
time. Yeah.
If it's, I would like to have it set up, but again, for me to learn it, like it's gonna take too much time.
I think the best thing is to set it up with the stuff, but have to train the VA to manage it, and for you to only pick up the live calls. That's the most efficient way because you're spending time on like higher value things, right? All that
Yes,
stuff is bottom line things. So, but maybe thinking about how the thing you want it to work out, like the process. Maybe that's a higher level stuff, but to actually figure out actually how to implement it, the technical stuff and manage it, that's not your job. You should not think about that.
exactly.
But so I think for you, at least a simple pipeline that we can work on, and I can help you on that and implement it and work it through. Um, is first have something that filters out the no, not interested, fuck you, don't call me back, because a lot in wholesaling especially, there's a lot of fuck you, right? How'd you get my
Yep.
number? Don't call me again, wrong number, not interested. So let me actually go through my pipeline to show you exactly what words that I filter out. Because that will help you a lot. I think that's the first step for you. Let's see the word that I'm looking for. It would be in my workflows. Just give me a second. Okay, so here's not the fuck yous, but for example
Can you share your? Sorry, I'm sharing my screen. Can you share yours?
Yeah.
I stopped sharing mine.
So here, can you see my screen? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
here is one of the words like sold, pending, under contract, my realtor listed with. Those you don't want, right? Because those are not going to be anything that's viable for you.
Yeah.
And this is workflow. This is more complicated. You don't need to worry on workflows right now. Triggers is probably what you want to start off with. So here, as you can see, I made this July 6th and I didn't blast anyone yesterday. So this is 214 people going through in my pipeline. And this is another 200 people going through my pipeline. So this one, so conditions, sold pending, that one.
Yeah, you wait more.
Yeah.
More what's called knowledgeable about this, man. This is I like again. It does intrigue me. Like, oh shit, that's awesome. But again, it's just my time. You know what? I don't. Again.
Yeah, I think the best thing is to set it up for you and then teach your VA how to do it, and then for you just to answer the calls, because you don't want to look through the text and be like, who is this? You want to look through a clean text. So let's say you blast 150 people, and then you should only respond to 15 people. And then what I would like to do for you too is everybody that calls you back should go into a different funnel. And then you just look at those numbers. Oh, I didn't call this person back. I should call this person back.
Exactly. You see
Especially
that?
when they call you during lunchtime.
Yeah. So like if I have my like I told my best case scenario, and remember my VA, the lady does my scraping, that's what she does. That's what she gets paid $3 an hour.
Yeah.
My VA does my calls, that's all he does. So I'm the third VA basically. I'm the one flipping through the messages. I'm the one answering the calls. I'm the one calling back when it, because the triggers that I do have is like the who is this? It automatically sends, hey, this is Alex. An offer, I get a text saying, hey, this customer wants an offer. So I can pick up the phone and call them. I send a text. What else? The not interested, I have a trigger, right? But again, the other ones that where it says that they don't say the specific words, like I want an offer, that fall through the cracks. Like I would like to filter out all the exact no's, filter them out. And when I log into IRA reply, again, I guess the pipelines, that's where it works. I want to see only the ones that says, who's this, question mark, like, because it's not that many. Because my
Yeah.
VA is doing, right now, my cold caller is doing around 300 calls a day.
Good.
So I can talk to 50 people myself from those 300 calls that he does through callbacks, and I can definitely reply to like 60 throughout the day. You know what I mean? But I only want to see those. I waste time going through loading the load, and seeing and then once I click on one and I reply, by the time I go back, it moves. Like, oh shit, I gotta go back. You see how the waste of time that it doesn't help me there.
Yeah, so we can definitely because it could automatically sort through the the no's, no's, not interested, fuck you, remove me, do not contact, stop, take me off your list, quit, spam, like all those things. The machine should automatically just, so let's say you have that one pile that you go through, right? It'll filter them out to a different pipeline, so you won't even see it visually. So it just moves them somewhere else. And then what I want to add in is another one that basically, if they called you, right? Because that's your hottest leads, right? So then it moves them all to that one. So let's say you're driving and you can't pick up the phone, right? It has it right there. Or let's say you want to take a 2-4 hour break, right? And people call you during that time, then it's all there. It's all stacked there. So you just go through all of that thing. You don't have to go through your messages or go through the phone and see who called you back. It's all right there.
Yeah. See, I know there's those capability in the error reply, but again, like I'm telling you, it's just too complex. Like, I don't want to break my head about this.
Yeah. So you can do that, and then what you can also do is, let's say you call them back, right? You can add a little tag next to them. So what I like to do is, after I have that list of people that called me, I'll add a voicemail tag, and then it'll remove that thing. It'll remove them, and then 1 minute later, it'll send them a text. It'll say that, hey, I just called you and left a voice message, or whatever you want to put there. So 1 minute afterwards, I left them a voice message, it will send them. So let's say you wanted to do that.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah. So because like I don't like it like when you call them and then you have to like leave a voicemail text. It wastes too much time, right? Or you forget. Let's say you leave too much room for error. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So it automatically, after you call them, you just tag them, and then you just go like that, and then just move on to the next person. Okay, cool. I called that person. Voicemail tag. Cool. I call that person. Voicemail tag. I don't have to think about what to say to them. It just automatically sends them that text. Hey, I left you a voicemail today. And then I'll have another tag. So let's say that's the first voicemail I left them. Let's say I call that person and I miss them. I leave them that voicemail message text. And then they call me back afterwards. I know that person called me already. So I'll tag them as voicemail too, and it'll send them another text. It's like, hey, we're playing phone tag. What's up with that? Right. So it feels fresh. So it kind of has that little thing that it's not talking to a robot, but it'll send it like 1 minute afterwards or whatever you want to time it. So it sounds like they're talking to a real person. So all that automation. Yeah. So that's what I do.
So, and that's when you open up your reply, it'll be like on the pipeline section, right?
Yeah, let me show you actually. So mine's a little bit complex, so don't get too intimidated because I'm way too nerdy about this kind of stuff. And because we're dealing with like 750 people with the text. So if our machines isn't on par, we just die. So let's see the opportunities. Okay, so let me just blur this out. So this will say, for example, let me just unblur that for you really quick though. So this is like replied. So anybody that replies goes to this thing. You probably have yours set up to just only have replies.
I don't have anything.
Oh, you don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Like,
do you just use the conversations? You just use the conversations?
I go to conversations. Like I'm telling you, like I don't have anything. Like it just goes to conversations. And when I see like when I get a text, it goes into my phone. Like it says me a notification, and I just go, oh, let me talk to this one. This one said offer, or this one said who's this, or it wasn't. They put who's WHOSE, and then that doesn't match my trigger. So I let me look at that one. But yeah, I don't have anything.
Your VA sorts the conversation and then you just go through it, or do you sort through all the conversation?
Yeah, myself, because remember, my
Oh
VA only
shit,
does the
dude.
scraping, and my other VA is doing the calling. They don't do like anything in my system.
Yeah. So what I did is either I would go through them or I have my so basically a customer service VA. So you know this customer service that you can hire for whatever, the ones that most of them use. They're only like, I don't know how much your VA costs, but mine's from Bangladesh and they cost like this one is $2.50 because it has to think a little bit, right? Instead of like data entry where you can just pay them $1 or $2 an hour. But this is pretty cheap still, $2.50 because they're used to customer service. So they have to read what's the customer intelligence, like what is this, right? So anything that the bot doesn't automatically go away, then they have to intelligibly sort through them. It's like sometimes it says something more complicated, like well, I'm still thinking about it. What's your proposal? And you can take away the word proposal, but sometimes they say like, well, what are you thinking about doing? And sometimes you can't catch all the words like thinking about doing, right?
Yeah, it's misspelled or something. Yeah.
Or it's misspelled, or they left a grammatic error, or they do basically, I don't know why people do this, but then they send half of their sentence first and then half their second sentence in the next text. So the machine can't understand what that is, right? Because it can only read some words.
Yeah.
So some of those things that you need a machine intelligence to, a person intelligent enough to do that and to reply back to them. And then after that, then they can keep corresponding with that thing. But I think that's pretty, you can have a customer service VA do it. But if it's not that much, like you're not sending more than 150, you can do it after the bot.
I can handle I can be that third VA where I can filter. But if I have a filter in place, like a pipeline where I only see the replies that they didn't fit the exact no's, FUs, I can go through those and I can call back the ones that call me. So again, those two pipelines will help me a lot. Pipeline for all my missed calls. And set up with a calling back and then a voicemail and then a text, and then a pipeline where I only see the good ones. I don't see the no's, the FUs,
the no fuck yous and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I don't have to go through the conversation site.
Yeah, those two alone would probably help you like 80% of your like time that you waste on there. Oh, this person, blah blah blah. And also I think it helps your mindset too, because you don't see like a bunch of people cussing you out all the time. So your brain is like fresh, it's like, okay, like I want to talk to this motivated person.
Get like you're not surrounded by no's and FUs and like it changes the mood. Hey, what's going on, man?
Change your mood.
I'm just here learning from Vic, man. He's pretty good at the raw reply. I can tell you mine is just on the conversation side. I don't do any automations, but yeah, he's telling me that I'm missing out a lot.
What up, guys?
So Vic, how complex is this to set up?
The two pipelines, it should take you like 10-30 minutes and I can set it up for you.
I appreciate it, man. I will definitely, again, that will be a big game changer for me because again, like I'm telling you, I do miss some, because sometimes I reply to like 2-3 week old text that I'm where I'm at home and like, oh, let me see what my reply says, and I'm just scrolling. I'm like, oh, I missed this. So then I send them like, oh, by the way that I fix when I reply to them real late, it says, oh, I'm sorry, system communication error. Again, we switched customer service agents, and your number fell through the cracks. Again, the reason why we're calling you back. Yeah, it's like a week old or a 2 week old, and then I can still restart the conversation. But again, it's better when it's right there and then. Like they say,
then you have to basically scroll to 1,000 texts to get it though, right? Because if it's 7 days, it's fucking...
like my conversation is like 3,000, like, and I have to go through all. I'm 3,000 unread. That means there's probably some that says no there, but there's also might be some good ones there that I don't know if they are.
Yeah, we could also probably find, after we filter it out, we can probably find some that you probably even missed through like the second or third time you double check.
Exactly. Really I'm pretty sure there's some there, man.
There's some gold there. Let's go searching.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I appreciate you, Vic, for allowing me to learn from you and helping me doing this pipelines, man.
I mean, I learned a lot from you, so I'm glad I get to help you out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So let's go to the pre-foreclosures. What were you thinking about the pre-foreclosures?
So I don't know anything about pre-foreclosures. So I was wondering how to get started, because when I was watching your older videos, they still went through my head like, okay, so you have to go through the county record, but some people or some counties you have to pay for it, or it doesn't actually, like some people you have to negotiate with or something. Like some counties, like free, you have to say something about the Freedom Act service or something like that.
The
Like
FOIA.
they won't give you the information.
So it depends on the county. Like my county, the main that I work in, it's public. So you can go to the county website and you look for pre-foreclosures. They haven't broken down by pre-foreclosures, right? So then you are basically just get like 30 files a week, and then you go by one. I do that myself, but those are the ones that are hot. I go one by one and I get the addresses. I get the address and then I map it. And if it's a good property that I know it's worth it, that the what's it called, it's either two things. It's a brand new property that the owners messed up and they want to walk away from it, because right away after 6 months it's going into foreclosure.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a brand new loan. They don't have no sentimental value. I might give them just 3K and they'll walk away.
Oh.
That's one of them. The other ones are the ones that have a lot of equity. They've been sitting there for almost 10, 20 years in a mortgage, and now they're going to foreclosure. So those are the two hot ones. Those are the two extremes: brand new accounts and like old accounts that have a lot of equity.
Okay.
So let me see if I can pull one up. So once I pull them, I go to the website and I pull them, right? And then I pull them all and I research them. And the way I do it, I usually, the way that I started targeting before, one of my first deals was what's it called? I used to get the USPS boxes. You know how you get free boxes when you want to ship something? When you go to the USPS store, you can get the little boxes, not the envelopes, the boxes. I just put there, hey, I noticed your house is going to foreclosure. Again, we can get this stopped and put some money in your pocket. Call me. And I'll just literally drop them off. I'll drive that area and drop them off.
Interesting.
And I remember my first deal with that strategy. Literally, I dropped off the document, the box, and I was literally like maybe like 5 minutes from the street, and the lady called me back. So I went back to the house. And that one I made like $3,500. Go ahead.
So when you put it in the box, do you seal the box or what do you do? Okay.
So yeah, the box is sealed. Do I have a box here? I stopped doing it because now I reached out to them through a text,
Right.
and I don't want to drive. But yeah,
But it's still smart. I think that's a great
yeah.
strategy for like your first one, or like you don't have enough money for marketing. That seems like go get
it's
free
free.
boxes and go just get those signed. That's smart.
Yeah, and all you do is drop them off, and then you wait for them to call you back. And it's free. You just put outside. You just put if you know the last name, because usually the document. Let me see if I can put one on here. I'm in the Bexar County website. Hold on. It's probably a lot in Bexar County. I'll share it right now. Let me make sure I get the right one. So in Bexar County, which is San Antonio, let me share it with you. So do you guys see this document?
Yeah.
So see, Bexar County is free. So you can get access to it. All you do is you search for, let's say whatever county, Bexar County, a real estate clerk registry, and you find a website. You just got to do a little bit of digging. Once you find the website, then this one, basically you open the website and it opens up like this, like this. And you see right here in this menu, usually you can search for foreclosures, and then you just put the date. Usually you want to search 30 days, because usually in Texas, it's 21 days. They have 21 days to record, and then they can foreclose. So usually our foreclosures in Texas is every Tuesday or the first Tuesday of the month. So you just look for July. So this one's July the 1st. Let me see what was recorded from July the 1st on. So then let's search. You see, so this one this one was recorded on 4/21, and then it's gonna be foreclosed on it was just foreclosed last month, early this month. But you want to look to the ones that are fresh in the system, the ones that just recorded. Those documents that were recorded today. Cool. Something to give you more dates. So this one, you see, this one was recorded today. It's yesterday, the 7th. So you open it up, and it's basically gonna say this. Notice a trustee sell, right? That means it's gonna sell it. If you look at the original document right here, it says sell date. It's gonna be the first Tuesday of August, which is the 2nd, right? So for the document itself, this is where you gotta learn a little bit. So you gotta, okay, it gives you the legal description. Perfect, right? It gives you the original document that was recorded. So the instrument to be foreclosed was deed of trust dated October 6, 2021. So this one's a fresh account. So you see how I'm telling you, like this lady is getting foreclosed within a year. So her original mortgage was done on October the 6th, and now she's getting foreclosed on October the 6th. Now she's getting foreclosed on August the 2nd. So literally 11 months after she got it. What happened there? She might have lost a job. COVID got her. So that's the person that is willing to walk away. And if it's like an FHA loan, if you borrow 150 on FHA loan to lend you on the 150, they only ask you for 3% down. So let's say it was 5,000. So you can give them 5,000 and walk away. If the deal makes sense, depending on how past due she is, you can take it down again and being able to use that as a rental or as a wrap. So this one is, but it doesn't give you the address. Like, oh shit, well, most people will stop there. It gives you the legal description. So now you gotta, and then you scroll down and you look, probably on the second page, it's gonna tell you the name of the seller, of the mortgage person. Let's go to the second page. So let's see, it doesn't give you anything. Usually the trustee sells, it only gives you legal description. At times the bank is gonna foreclose. It has to tell you the trustee is gonna foreclose, and sometimes it tells you the name of the person that is gonna get foreclosed on. This one doesn't give you the person, right? But it gives you that document number. This one, you see this one? So all you do is write it down. 2022 0. See, you see how it says 2022? That might be just the year. So you might not need to put those four numbers into the search bar, because they'll give you an error. We'll see right now if it gives me an error. So it's 2022 means it's most likely the year that was recorded. And then you got 00298 298 9808. Okay. So then you go right here, go back to this one, and then you're gonna search for that document itself. So I'm gonna remove the 2022, and I'm just gonna put the 00298 808. So it doesn't work like that. So I probably need, because in my county, you need to remove those numbers. Okay. Let's see if it works like that. You see, there we go. Let me see. So you see, this was when it was issued, October 6, 2021. That's the document that's getting foreclosed on right now. You see, it's an LLC. It's a company that borrowed for that property. And if you go right here, it might tell you that. Let's see, on the next page. Sapphire, the lender, Auto Investment. So it was another investment company that loaned to an LLC. Promissory note, we'll see, this is humongous, $1.4 million. It's crazy. So again, that for me, it's already out, because again, if my median price in San Antonio is like $350, $1.4 million is a mansion. I don't want to. Those people that can borrow $1.4 million will probably have an attorney that will block these foreclosures. So then you just, you know what? Okay, let me not even do that. Let me not even dig that deep. Then you go to the next one. You usually want to talk to people that are people, not LLCs. So you got the next one.
Like so there is a process which you read this, right? Because you're only looking for like 3 or 4 key information.
Yes, right. That's why I'm telling you. This is where I personally do that. I get the address and I look at the property on Zillow, and then I look how much they borrowed. Is it a good condition? How long ago was it loan on? Is it a new loan or is it an old loan? Is there equity? So I can know, is it worth it, me doing all this, script raising it, putting out a reply, have my VA call them, me text them. Is it worth me going through all that? Like that $1.4 million? Like, no. Those people most likely have an attorney that's gonna block the foreclosure. So why even bother reaching out? Hey, I can save your house. Like, motherfucker, I can save my own house.
So like basically the key information is to see if they have an attorney or not, right? Because if they have an attorney,
no, the key information is you want to see the price. If my median price for my area is 350. I don't want a house that's worth $1 million.
Okay.
I want a house that's worth like 350 or below.
Median
Because
house
remember,
price. Okay.
you want to buy properties that are cookie cutter, properties that can move right away. Properties that are on the extremes, like $1.4 million, that means you have to have a really, really good job to get that property. You know what I mean? I want something that can turn faster. So you see this one. There's another one. You see this one's getting foreclosed in September the 6th. And this is the property. You see instrument to be foreclosed. Here's the instrument number. See, this one, it's easier. You see, this one has the address already.
Right.
So let me pull it up right here. So it's 10. So you see, I'm gonna search on the next page to see if it tells me how much they borrow. This is also a new loan. It was done in 2019. So it's been 2 years, 3 years, and they're already getting foreclosed. What happens there? They lost a job, they got divorced. Something happened that made them no longer be able to make the payment. BLG San Antonio. Okay, let me see.
And so when you give them the 5,000, are you giving it them out of pocket? Or are you getting a loan for that? Or
no? Again, some of these clients might even take 1,000.
Right.
Because some of these clients are like, well, I want to lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Might as well just get something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a property. So then you look at the property. You see, that's a good median price, 288. San Antonio's median price is like 300, so it's below, which is great. That's one thing, good. Now you look at the second thing. Let me see how much they borrow. So I know it was. So my template says, it says what year was it issued? What year was the loan? This one's 2019, right? Does it fit my median price? Yes or no? If it's yes, I continue. If it's no, I won't even look at it. This is if you want to give it to a VA.
Right.
He's like, anything over 300K, don't even look at it. Anything with LLC, don't even look at it. If the borrower is an LLC, don't even look at it. Right? So this one, okay, let me go to the next step. Can I see how much they borrow on it from this initial page? So current, this person is gonna foreclose on it. It's auction.com is gonna do the action. What's it called? Auctioning it. And you go right here. You see, deed of trust provides secure. Okay, boom. They borrowed 186,000.
Oh, that's good.
How much was the loan for? Loan 186K.
Yeah.
And I look at the value of Zillow. Most likely, like if I know my area, I know Zillow is pretty good. They borrow 180, and it's worth 280, so there's 100K there.
Yeah.
Even if they haven't paid anything, even if they owe next to 20K in fees, it's still, you still have like 80K in money as far as equity. So that's a good deal to continue to search. And then here, you go back here, and then you get the name, Paul Perez and Silvia Perez. Paul Perez, and you make your VA, put it in different columns because you're gonna skip tracing. And then you make your VA write in the, what's it called? The address. Since it's right here already. Let's say it wasn't here. You're like, well, it's not there. How do I know? How do I search for the address? So when you look for the instrument, you can do two things. You can go and let me see, I can search San Antonio property tax search. Because all counties have different. Let me see. See. So then I search for this in Bexar County. And then I'm looking at here a property search tax. Because I have the name of the customer, right? And I have the legal description. So then I can just put here by name. So what's the name? Perez. What was it? Paul Perez. So then you go right here. Type owner's last name and first name. So it's Perez, Paul. And you're like, well, there's going to be a lot of Pauls and a lot of, all right, there's 32 matches. Now I go right here and look at the legal description. It has to give you a legal description. Like all these documents have to have a legal description. They don't have to give you the address, but they have to give you a legal description. So you hear lot 1 of block 82. So I looked at this one for the new city block, Lackland City subdivision. So I just searched for, so if there was a lot, like here you have 32, I just control find, black land. There's only one. Is it Pophetus? Yeah. Is it the block that I'm looking for? Does it match the legal description? Yes. And then now you have the address here from this cat. You see, it gives you the address. Also here you look at, you see Canyon Village. If this is the property address, property site is 20. If it had another address here, that means it's an absentee owner. They got the mortgage, they moved out, or they have two properties, so they're less attached to the property. So this has the triggers. It's a brand new loan. They have almost 100K in equity. What's it called? And they're gonna get foreclosed. So being so young of a loan, they don't have too much attachment. There's 100K in equity, and it's a good price range. So I would definitely script place it and reach out to them. Now, once you go through all of those, you see, once you go through all of those, what I also search is this. I also keep this number, the instrument number, because when I put it in my reply, it what are you talking about? Like, yeah, is this your house? Yeah, okay. Did you get, because this letter that I'm reading was mailed to them through certified mail. They need to have this document in front of them by law. So this same document that I'm seeing is a document that they got as well. So I tell them, yeah, did you get this document from the mortgage, from Money Source, which is a lender? Yeah, it looks like your house is gonna get foreclosed on September 6th, 2022. Yeah. And I would say, did you already get it resolved? It's like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, did you get a loan? See, my strategy when I search the way I reach out to my foreclosures or my pre-foreclosures is that I can help them stop them and keep them in the house. But if I can't keep them in the house, then let me have the first right of refusal to make an offer on their house. By trying to help them keep the house, I'll find out everything. I can either actually have a sit down with them, look at the house, look at the condition, look how much they're past due. I basically know everything from the house. And now my next thing is try to keep them in the house. Can you do a loan mod? Can you do a refinance? Can you do a bankruptcy? Which first loan mod and then refinance? Well, first refinance. If they have messed up credit, then, because right now the loan modifications as far as from the pandemic is gone. So there's some more pandemic relief. Now it's either, can we refi it? Most likely no, because they have bad credit. Once they mess up on their payment history with this bank, everything else messes up. Can they loan mod it? Then you ask them, why did you default? Because they lost their payment, they lost income, that means the loan mod's gonna get denied because there's no capacity to repay. So then you ask the third option. Well, the third option is it goes by cost. The third option is bankruptcy. But what happens when you file bankruptcy? I can't tell you what to do. But if I file bankruptcy on myself, all my credit gets messed up, gets wiped out. If you have other accounts that are good standing, they'll get wiped out. You do get to keep your house, and then you force the bank to sit down and negotiate a price that makes sense to you, and you go underneath an umbrella of protection for 2 years, as long as you make your payments. But everything else gets wiped out. You literally kill your credit. That's the third option, and that's like around $300 if you do it yourself. But I don't recommend doing it yourself because you want an attorney being there so they can represent you when you meet the creditors. So that's around $3K. The next option, if you don't want to go to bankruptcy because you still want to keep your credit, is hiring an attorney to block the foreclosure. By blocking the foreclosure, you don't stop the foreclosure, you just postpone it. So in that meantime, you gotta say, okay, can I catch up with the payments? Can I refinance it? We already knocked out refinance and loan mod in the beginning. Can this 3 months of blocking the foreclosure give you enough time to catch up with the payments? If not, then can you sell the house? Do you want to sell the house? And if they don't want to sell it, then that's your last option. You have to sell it. If you can't refi, if you can't loan mod it, if you can't make up the bad payments, you either gotta sell it or lose it. And they say, well, I want to sell it. This is where I come in. Everything else is free because you're giving me the first right of refusal to buy your property from you at a price that's fair. I mean, so that's basically how I target my accounts. So I create a website where the options for the client are given in case they want to, when they call me back, when I reach out to these people, they call me back. Yeah, actually, I'm going to try to buy your property right now. We're trying to keep you in the house by showing you what we can do as far as to, again, refi, low mod, bankruptcy, for TRO, which is temporary restraining order, and then sell it. And if not, give us the first right of refusal.
So when you reach out to them and they say no to, because you're not offering like to buy it right away, you're giving them the 6-7 options. Is it like free consulting basically? Because like, and you're basically giving them free consulting.
Yeah, I'm giving you this for free. Like, well, what do you win from this? Well, I'm giving you this information for free.
Right of refusal.
But if you get, because you're gonna give me the first right of refusal. When you are already exhausted trying to get a loan mod, when you are already exhausted trying to get refi, when you either chose to, maybe you don't have the money for the bankruptcy, and maybe you don't have the money for the foreclosure, and you don't have the time to sell it, and list it for 6 months. You have to, well, ma'am, it sounds like, again, if I was you in your position, like I only have one option. I can't pay for the bankruptcy and I can't pay for the TRO. I can't qualify for the refi or the loan mod. Then that means 2 things can happen. Either you sell it right away and try to get out underneath it, or you lose it and they'll kick you out, and then that ruins your credit. So again, this is where I've been. Again, I don't tell them, I don't do it from the bottom of my heart. I do it because I'm gonna get the first right of refusal. Because again, people can see that, oh no, I'm just doing it. No, it's bullshit. You're doing it for a business, right? So then that's where you come in. Looking, okay, give me the first right of refusal. Remember, by the time you get to that point, you already know everything from the house. You know what the inside looks like. You always take pictures. Just condition report in case they do approve a loan modification or a short sale. They need pictures, so I take pictures. You know what's called how many payments are past due, what's the current balance. So you know everything that most investors that only buy at the auction don't. And then you know what? Okay, perfect. And then let's come to a price. Like this case. You know what, ma'am? Based on what you're telling me, you just bought this house, so you really haven't not paid anything towards to the equity. Again, you probably owe 100% what you borrowed, plus some fees. Usually fees from a bank are probably like $5,000 for the attorney, plus the past due fees, plus everything. You probably owe an extra $10,000 plus the past due fees, right? So what I can do, again, if I was able to make something work, again, I do have to take care of the past due, take care of the attorney fees, and then step myself in your position to make the payments back. And now I gotta owe this bank 28 years worth of payments. Okay, if I have to do, if I can do all that, how much do you want for yourself to just literally just walk away and keep your credit? You're like, well, I want 280. It's not gonna happen. He's like, why not? Because again, there's no win for us. You're literally stripping all the equity on the property and putting me in your position. Like this is where the guts comes in. It's not gonna happen. And unfortunately, you don't have time to list it. And like you're telling me, you don't have the $3,000 to block the foreclosure either through bankruptcy or through foreclosure protection. So I'm here trying to give you the 3 options to keep your house, but it comes to a point where you have to make the decision, either lose it or sell it. And if you sell it, walk away with something and keep your credit. So it can make me a more reasonable offer. Like, how much do you want to walk away? I don't care how much. Right now, we don't care how much the equity is. I know that you owe 186. You probably past due another 10, and you probably owe another 10 from the attorney fees. So you probably owe like 220. How much do you want to walk away? Because that's your last option, walking away, and actually taking something in your pocket. He's like, oh, I want 20. I can't do that. If anything, if I get it approved from my boss, we can probably do like 3 to 5. And we might even throw an extra free storage for 3 months, which is like $500, and help you move. You see, I'm taking away money from the table, but I'm giving him value as far as free moving, free storage. I mean, moving might cost you $300. Storage might cost you another $500, but it makes sense. But remember, you don't exchange price, you don't exchange money until they're literally out of the house.
Right.
So you'll help them with the moving. So let's say they agree, you know what? Okay, I'll take 5. Perfect. Then what I do, I'm taking over the payments. By then, I already spoke to the bank, because when I was trying to stop the foreclosure, I get a letter of authorization from them, and I call on their behalf with them in front of me. hey, Mrs. X, again, they reach out to me. Again, I have a website. Let me see. Maybe.
Yeah, this is good stuff because with the evictions probably getting higher with all this stuff happening, this is
Yeah.
something that you need to learn about.
Yep. Like I said, the first 5 steps, I'm giving you as value for you. And then of course, because my payment is you give me the first value refusal. Some people do keep their houses, to be honest. It makes sense to them. Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah, because you're basically giving them free consulting, letting them know those options are available. But if they have no money, which they definitely won't, because if they did, they would be paying off their shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You're at
So
least
they only-
getting. So I
yeah.
give I'll give you a screenshot because, and I'll show you. So basically what you do is when you call them on the seller's behalf, hey, I'm calling you from San Antonio Home Relief Program, where we help clients navigate the foreclosure. It gets tense. Again, we don't like to have clients go through the emotional roller coaster by calling you, sitting on the line for 2 hours to get somebody on the line. So again, what's the story with the property? Well, they have, okay, perfect. They're like, what, we can talk to you. Oh, let me email you or fax you a letter of authorization. Perfect. You email the letter of authorization, now they can talk to you directly. Okay, so what's going on? He said, oh, the customer's past you 10 months, they owe this much. Well, does she qualify for a loan mod? He's like, she does, but she needs to turn in these documents. They need to make sure that they can qualify as far as with what's it called, they can make back their payments. Oh, but she was telling me that she lost the job. So that's out of the picture. Do you guys offer any type of program, like maybe like a forbearance? I know we just got a foreclosure out of COVID. Maybe that's something that's an option. It's like, oh, no, it's not an option. Okay, so again, do you guys do short sales? I don't really do that because it takes money and that takes time to do a short sale. So I like, do you guys try? Is there any program out there that can help the client? Remember, the client's hearing me. So when he tells me they're past you this much, I'm running it down. This amount. Again, is there any programs? Is there anything that the customer can benefit? The customer's hearing me like, no. Okay. Can you postpone the foreclosure? Because the customer is telling me that she might be able to come up with the money that can get back current. Can you guys give me like 3 months more? And usually they come. I'm just saying those things. I already know the answer is, and it's no. But the seller's hearing me say this. I'm doing my best to try to stop the foreclosure by being the representative of the seller. And then if they say no, perfect. You know what? Okay, let me consult with my client, and then I'll call you back. And then, well, ma'am, it sounds like again they don't want to wiggle in anything. That you don't qualify for the refi. You don't qualify for the refi because you don't have income. You don't qualify for the loan mod because you don't have income. There's no programs out there that might help you. There's no forbearance for you either. Again, the next 2 steps is, again, do you have $3K to pay an attorney to put you to bankruptcy? And again, you have to kill all your credit, but do you have money to do that and keep your house? Say no. Well, do you have money to keep paying? I think it goes by city. In my area, it's like $2,500 to block the foreclosure. In other areas, it's gonna be more expensive. San Antonio is probably like $5,000 to block the foreclosure. So you literally have to pay the attorney the $5K to block the foreclosure and to try to negotiate with the owner. Now, I tell clients, like, we can stop the foreclosure, but the main thing is, like, if you can't qualify for anything, the only option if we do block the foreclosure is for you to put it up for sale. There's nothing else. You got to put it up for sale, and then that'll buy you 3 or 4 months to list it, and hopefully you can get a buyer. But do you have the 5,000? Remember, these clients, they can't pay 1,000. That means more likely they don't have any savings, because the first thing that people pay is the water, the second thing they pay is the light, and the third thing they pay is the mortgage. So if they don't have money for the mortgage, that means they don't have savings. He's like, no, I don't have a savings. Well, and this is again, so this is where our company comes in, ma'am. Again, and me and my boss, again, we talk about this client all the time. Again, we can make you an offer for this property. Again, we already know more or less what's the situation with you. You owe 10K past due, you owe 10K in fees. The reinstatement, you might ask also for a reinstatement amount to be emailed to you, as far as so you know how much they need to pay back to the bank to get that account back current. that reinstatement amount you can request it when you're on the phone with the bank. And now you have a fixed number. If the seller pays this much by this date, they'll stop the foreclosure, and she can get back on making payments. That's gonna break down all the past due payments, all the attorney fees, and everything that's being charged to the client. And then once you get it, they want 25,000. And you're inside your head like, well, if they can't pay 5, how do you think they're gonna pay 25? You know what I mean? So then, well, if I do, ma'am, if I can tell my boss and I can break down this account to him, and us being responsible for the 25K, remember, us being responsible for the 25K, us being responsible for the next 28 years of payments under your name, but we're gonna make the payments on your behalf. How much do you want to walk away with? And there's CC, we're being responsible for the 25. We're being responsible for the 28 years worth of payments, or whatever years of worth of payments. How much do you want? How much would you like to see to walk away with? So we can get this resolved, and if it works out, we can probably get the bank paid their past due in about probably like 10 days. Remember, you don't make any payments unless the homeowner says yes and they're already moved out of the house. Because if you say, oh, let me pay it right now, boom, then they're gonna move out. Oh, give me 2 weeks. No, the house has to be empty, because they'll just sit there, and then you can't kick them out because it's their house. Now you have to, if you do make a payment and they sign what's called the like a deed to you, and they're still there, even though they signed the deed to you, now you got to evict them. And now you got to talk to the attorney, to the judge, telling him, I want to evict this client from their house, but they gave it to me. I paid 25K, but now they don't want to move out. The judge is going to look at you, I don't give a fuck, you're a predator. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. You got to be careful. Like, before you make any payments to anybody, you got to make sure that the seller's out of the house. And if you agree to giving him 5K, and if you do agree from the seller you do agree to have the seller pay the $300 to move out, you do pay for that. You call the movers, hey, go take all of her stuff that means she's already moving out. So then you do make those expenses. But before you make those expenses, you already have the deed. So basically the deed is basically the title to the house. I have multiple deeds where an attorney created it for me, and they're basically copy and paste. So the seller's gonna give the deed to you. Now remember, if you're gonna use it as a wrap and keep it under your name, like keep it under the seller's name, and you're not gonna sell it right away, you gotta disclose to the seller that, you know what, when you got approved for this loan, ma'am, it was under your name, right? Now, there's no rule saying that you cannot transfer the responsibility. Remember, the responsibility to me to make payments and on the bank's behalf, on your behalf to the bank. But there is something called the due on sale clause, that in case the bank finds out that we did this transaction, they might say, you know what? They might tell me, not you, hey, new investor, you got to pay off the account. But based on our experience, the only reason the only 99% of the reasons that they do that, where they ask the new investor to pay off the note, is because the new investor has not made the payments. If I make the payments, the bank's in the business of collecting interest. They don't want to collect property. They want to collect interest. So again, but I'm just letting you know that, again, part of the documents that they sign is the disclosures. You're not asking the bank for approval to do this transaction. You understand that the property is going to stay in your name for the next 28 years. You understand that me as an investor is going to take the responsibility on your behalf to make the payments. The responsibility to make the payments, not to owe the debt. So you do disclose. That's when the seller says yes. Then you can call me again. Hey, Ace, the seller says yes. Let's go through all that. But you want to get them to that position where they say yes. Okay, perfect. You know what? Let me go talk to my boss. He'll probably have to draft down some documents for all these transactions, and we can call you back in the next couple hours. If you want to do it fast. If you know the lady is a sitting duck and she'll wait for you, perfect. But it depends on the market. Some markets are somebody else is gonna call them, and you already warm them up for you, and they're like, oh shit, they're gonna take your lunch. If it's like that, then you do it right away. But again, that's the process when I deal with a foreclosure. So, and if you want to sell it, perfect. You can just take the payment, take the contract, and you know you can owner finance it. You can wrap it. You can not only wrap it, you can wholesale it to somebody else for $20K extra. Then you don't have to do all that. Just put it on the contract and then wholesale it out. Make sure that the new investor knows that they have to close it before that certain date. That's if you want to wholesale it. But if, like for me, most of this property I want to keep. If I only pay $5K, I want to keep them because those are the ones that are literally laid down. And then for the past due, I can do two things. A, try to make it, now that I have the letter of authorization, I can call the bank and negotiate more. Hey, you know what? I don't have the 25K for that, but I can give you 5 right now. Just recast my loan and put those 20K past due on the back of the loan. They might do that with 5K consideration. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's more or less how I target foreclosures, man. This is how I search for them. Now, let's say, like you were saying, the FOIA. By law, I think in Texas, they have to put it to where the public has access to it. The banks that want to foreclose had to notify the seller, the owner of the house, and they have to notify the county that there's going to be because it's considered a public auction. So everybody has to know. So they're literally, sometimes they don't put in under, they don't block you from it. You might have to pay a membership to the clerk's records registry to get access to it and see it, or you might have to go to the county itself and look at the door, and they might have the foreclosures there. Usually, you only use the FOIA when it's something that can be public, but it doesn't have to be public. Like the water shutoffs, it's public utility. Most people don't have that public. You have to request them from them. What else? Evictions, they're public, but you don't. The state does not tell them you have to make it public. No, but it's public info. Arrest information, it's public info. If I request it, they don't have to put it. They don't have to blast you out there. So for foreclosures, you don't really have to do a FOIA. For code violations, for water shutoffs, for evictions, then you have to do a FOIA. And HJP, which is just as a piece, have their own specific document to request. So you go, hey, you know what? I want to request a Freedom of Information Act. You have a specific form for your area. Well, what do you want to look at? I'm looking for this. And they might, you know what? You don't have to create the FOIA. What's your email? But if they do, okay, but you can do that. Well, I need the Freedom of Information Act. You have to, by law, give it to me. Or if you don't give it to me by law, if you deny me, you have to send me the email where you reached out to the Attorney General of the state and you asked them, hey, can I give Vic the information? He said, no, you have to give me that email so I can have it for my record. Because you don't have the authority to deny me. The person that has the authority to deny me is the Attorney General. Knowing this information, oh shit, he knows the shit. You know what I mean? That's where you use the FOIA, but you have to have knowledge of the FOIA.
Right.
Sorry, man, I went rambling. I like to talk about foreclosures because again, it was one of my first deals that I got.
No, it's good stuff.
Do you have any other questions as far as?
No, I have to like watch the video over again because you give a lot of stuff. So
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it. And again, next week, you want to get on another Zoom call? We'll talk about this. We'll double down on this one as far as because you can target them through the box, the USPA box. Again, you can knock on the door. Again, the knock on the door is more. It depends on you looking at if you're doing it locally. If you're not doing it locally, then it's not worth knocking on the door. You can always mail a letter. Everybody's mailing a letter. You can call them. I think the best option right now is calling them if you're not local, and then piggy bank on other people sending them the letters. Hey, did you get our letter? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, again, there's an issue with the bank on this property. My name is Alex. I'm just following up on that letter that we sent you. Even though you didn't send it to them, again, if he picks up your call, he's gonna assume. He said, well, what letter was it? Yeah, it basically says that the property was gonna go under foreclosure, and we wanted to see if you're interested in. Again, 2 ways of targeting. You're interested in us helping you navigate and stop the foreclosure, or you can say if you want to be, you're open to sell, see if you want to sell it to us. I think better for you is helping them out, navigate the foreclosure through. Have you tried loan mod? Tried refi? Talk to the bank, and if not, let you be the last right of refusal, or you can go straight. You know what? I want to buy it from you. I don't want to help you. I want you to lose it. You see, that one is more predatory. I want you to lose it, and I want to buy it from you. I don't care if you're keeping it. So I think the other one is better because you're showing them a helping hand instead of trying to take their property away and literally kick him to the curb as far as get out of the house. Give him some money, but get out of the house.
So I noticed that most of them is like, for example, when you call them, well, I haven't done this, but what I'm hearing you say is like when you call them and you give them the list, right? And you can do them, not locally. How would you be their consultant if you're not local? Because like they wouldn't trust you, right? Because you actually probably have to meet them in person.
Remember, it is for the rapport building this comes in. Remember, these people they're literally waiting for any lifeline. You know what? I'm not here to buy your property from you. I just want to be the last right, because you're being honest with them. I want to be the last right of refusal. But before we get to that point, I want to help you do this. Because we're in the business of buying and selling properties. We're in the we're in the business of fighting with banks on behalf of clients, because some banks don't care about you. You're just a number. He's like, what we can do, again, do you have an email? Perfect. Let me send you a letter of authorization. What's the number to the bank? Let's get on a Zoom call. Or let's get on a what's called on a two-way, and let's call the bank. Again, and let's call the bank and let's see what's going on. It's possible. You can do a two-way. You can do a Zoom call with the seller. You have FaceTime. Yeah. That's okay. Let me put you on FaceTime. Let me go out on my computer and I'll call the bank. And then you're on speaker.
You do that all in one call, or do you let them think about it, use you as a consultant, and then call back?
No, one call.
Wow.
One call. Like, because again, she's already giving the option to hearing you out. If she doesn't want to help, she doesn't want help. If you don't want if you're drowning and you don't want my help right there and then I'm not gonna give it to you. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks. When right now if you want to get foreclosed in August the 2nd, you have 28 days per se. Yeah, I'm trying to give you a lifeline right now. You're literally not paying me to represent you with the bank.
Right.
Because most of the sellers, they don't like to talk to banks. They're like, the banks suck. They're afraid. Let me talk on your behalf with the bank. So remember, if you're drowning and I'm giving you a lifeline, if you don't take it right there and then, I'm gonna wait for you to where the water's already close to your nose. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks. Okay, perfect. You know what? It sounds good, man. It sounds, again, not our client. We can't help our clients. Again, out of 10 clients, we probably help 2. They're literally one help. Again, it's perfect. I hope that you fix it yourself. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. Click. And guess what we do? We put them on the follow-up. I don't even call them sometimes, unless it's really like a really hot lead, like there's a lot of equity. If it's an okay lead, like I'm taking over payments. Hey, this Alex, we had spoke to you about this property. Did you get it resolved? 99% of the times it's no. Okay, do you need our help? No, perfect. No, thank you. Okay, perfect. Boom. Then you wait another 5 days. And remember, first it was 2 weeks. First it was 28 days for the foreclosure. Now it's gonna be 2 weeks for the foreclosure, and then it's gonna be 5 days for the foreclosure. So go ahead.
We can set that up for you for like after you call them, you can just put them as a tag, and then in 2 weeks it'll send them that automatic text for you. Boom. So you don't forget.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about. Like again, I don't know. It's just the Reply has a lot of tools, but again, I don't know. I just like I said, I bootstrap. I just remind myself. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Again, yeah, when can we do this for my Reply? Or what do you need from me?
So we can, if you don't feel comfortable with sharing me your password, then we can hop on a Zoom call and I can just walk you through it. Or you can give me your password and then, you can change the password after like 30 minutes or something like that.
I don't trust you, Vic.
Okay.
I'm like, if you can, let me see. If you can get my stuff with the password, you're pretty good, man. Let me see what I have here.
But not now because I have a.
No, I know. But I was gonna tell you, my cold caller has the same authority as me.
Okay.
Let me see. Well, you know what? Let's end this Zoom call.
Sure.
And then I'll log in because I know Justin's probably on a one-on-one right now because he already logged me out of one. Let me what is your? Well, I have you on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have you on Facebook. Let me in the Zoom call, and then I'll create a Zoom call and I'll send you the link on Facebook through Messenger.
Okay.
So that I can. What's your last name? DIEP?
Yeah. DIUP.
How do you say it?
Deep.
Deep. Okay, Victor. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so let me in the Zoom call, guys. Again, I didn't talk about the eviction. The eviction, I'll talk about it next week. It was just either I evict the client by paying the attorney, or I evict the client by paying them $1,000. They decided to not go with $1,000 for them, so I'm gonna evict them. We're closing on this deal today at 3, and then the seller, the buyer closes it on Monday, and that's an 18K deal. So it was supposed to be a 20K deal, but I had to give a credit to the buyer for 2K. But I'll talk to it once it closes on Monday. All right, guys. Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you, Vic, for all that information. I'll send you a link right now, man.
See you guys.